I was 14 when I started. 15 years later when I started going down to the studio with him.
And this is obviously in Cable Street, right?
In Cable Street, in the old studio.
Yes, yeah.
But
so you head away there, John, and I'll just kind of get you on the side. Yeah, totally, yeah.
Put my glasses on. Might look a little more authentic.
Also, so did he teach you as well, or was there brothers? Is there other brothers in the family?
My uncle Louis, more or less got me into it, rather than my father at first. Like I said, I was only 14 when I just got down to the studio with my father, you know.
And do you remember the first thing that they got you to draw? Yeah.
Yes, definitely. I'll never forget it. It was seriously. It was a girl, a little swallow on her arm. Actually, I think
this is the first tattoo. They didn't have you drawn first, and then
no, they done the outline, and I coloured her in then, because the machines back then, they were thicker, wider. You know, the shading machines.
And so, was it 2 needles instead of 1 like now?
Oh no, there was 8 and a big flat shader.
Right.
8 needles.
8 needles.
8 needles and a big flat shader. As opposed to some of the round shaders we use nowadays, which is all totally different nowadays. You can get so many different.
Back in a while, Johnny, it's get some more flowers, and that one, okay?
Yeah, okay. You have everything, don't you?
Yeah.
Sorted. Will you get some more? Oh no, it's okay, it's okay. Yeah, I'll sort you out later. What was I saying? All right, yeah. I said a girl, and just the shade her in, the colouring, and I was there for fucking ages, you know. The uncle and my father, they fucked across the road at a point, you know, and left me there in the shop on my own, and the shop was packed. You know, full of young lads like this, you know, early 70s. You know, 74, 75, you know, and I was fucking didn't know what me, and most of these lads are older than me, you know, so I'm in the shop and I'm pretending to be sweeping on the counter, and the man is sitting there, the girl is sitting there with the outline of a rose, you know, and my uncle said to me, my father, said, you colour that in now, you know, because they had me doing on paper and stuff beforehand.
Yeah.
You know, when I was at home even. Or,
kind of like some sort of preparation.
And then on Saturdays when I wasn't in school, they brought me down to the studio, you know.
Did they give you money, or were you still doing this for nothing, or was it like a pocket money?
I know, I got pocket money everything at the end of the week, Saturday.
They earned your money.
Saturday evening, you know. Oh, that's for sure, yeah. Jesus, yeah. Because money we had to come by then, you know.
Yeah.
Things weren't so great in the tattoo business. It wasn't as in vogue. You know, it was mainly Corner Street boys, lads in the army, skinheads, Navy lads, you know, some of the older generation that fought in the Congo, UNICEF, the Burma Wars, you know, getting the crests and different things, you know, in the 60s and that, but they were only coming around to getting tattoos in Ireland. It was starting to get a bit more popular, you know. But obviously not as popular as now. But
but now it's just purely fashion, right? Would you say?
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah.
Whereas then it was like you got marked and you were in an organisation.
Yes, it was. Even with the younger lads on the Corner Street boys, you know, it was like a tribal thing with them.
They were in a gang.
You know, it was part of the boys. Like very few women got done. You know, one of the first women I've done, if not the first fucking women I've done. A whole tattoo from start to finish was Antonia Leslie. You know, from Castle Leslie.
Oh right, yes.
Yeah, Antonia. Seriously, she has a tattoo that I done over 30 years ago. You know, and she would have been one of the first women to just a little swallow with the scroll. You know, and we were actually talking about it on not Jerry Ryan and Dave Fanning radio show one time. And he didn't realise that we'd known each other as well. Yeah. You know, which is just pure coincidence. Yeah. You know, that we met years later.
Back
you
in
know,
there.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, but she was one of the first. Definitely one of the first. Yeah.
And it was crazy.
But after that, then things just start improving, you know. Definitely. If business started picking up, starts getting a bit popular. Timber lines were coming in. I mean, there was a time when there was like, I think, Jesus, 12 tattoo artists in the whole of the British Isles.
That's not many, right?
Exactly. Now there's 12 in every fucking town.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Even in the small towns.
Exactly. But even the tattoo conventions then, one of the first organisations was the European Tattoo Artists Association, ETAA, and it was organised by a man called Terry Wrigley and King Arthur. His real name was Arthur King, but for the tattoo trade he just changed it around, you know. So, and he was a Romany gypsy, but he was one of the first lads we knew to have 2 studios, you know, in the British Isles, you know, which was a big thing at the time, you know. It was, he was like, not a god, but he was somebody to look up to, you know. He had all the bling and the whole thing, and he was doing well, you know, and it was like fucking King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. Seriously, the secrets were kept close to the chest, you know. Everything you discovered or you didn't let too many people know, you know, because it was, you have what you have now, you know.
You were saying earlier on that it's kind of a bit like that still today. There's certain
it is, yes.
It's very private, it's a private thing.
Definitely, yeah. But nowadays all the magazines and the advertising, which is not a bad thing in a way, because you can send off now for all the sterilised needles, pre-packed, FDA approved, the whole shit match, you know, which in that sense is a good thing. Because back in the early 70s there was no AIDS, there was nothing heard about stuff like that, you know. It was ridiculous. And then all of a sudden in the 80s, the early 80s, there was a heroin epidemic and things changed, you know. There was a time when the army medical officer used to come in. Oh God, what was his name? Oh, I can't think of it. But anyway, we could have told him to fuck off, you know, because there was no rules, there was no laws, you know. We set the precedents, you know. It was my father had a big influence, obviously, you know. He told me what to do and what not to do, you know. And in his day, they done on the back of the hands, on the neck, you know, stupid thing, just to make a book, because things were hard, times were hard, you know. But when things started picking up a bit, he started setting the rule. He said, no, well, I think it's because he learned from his own mistakes when he was a young man. You know, he tattooed rings on his finger and stuff, and on the back of his hands, and he'd always regretted it. Do you know what I mean? So he sort of enforced the law. There's no tattooing on the back of hands, on the neck, on the face, stuff like that, you know, because he didn't want to be responsible for young lads regretting stuff like that, you know. And I think that's where I got the morals and the principles that I have now today, that I still won't, no pun intended, but I draw the line on what I will and will not tattoo, you know. And yeah, I had a good education as far as my father was concerned, you know, definitely.